Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Spill It. My name is Marcus and I'm going to be keeping you company for the next few minutes or so. This is a show where I get to connect with people. Hang on, let me start that again. This is a show where I get to have these three principles. We get to connect people together, we get to inspire others, and we get to help people learn something new. This is episode 77. The beat goes on, and Mr. Simon Knagg from Disco Jackers will be joining us at 7:10 p.m. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. Until then, you get the lovely company of moi, of me, of I. Yeah. If you haven't checked out the other episodes yet, then you can do. All you ever have to do is just head over to the Spill It website, www.spillit.uk, where you'll be able to find all of the other episodes that we've done. You'll also be able to find links to the podcast. You'll also be able to find links to become an official Patreon and support the podcast by donating £2 per month. And also you'll be able to find other links, like, for example, the shop. The shop is live. You'll be able to get some Spill It beanie hats, whatever you want, essentially. Just head over to the website, go and check it out. You know, see what's there. Changes all the time, you know. You'll be able to see all the upcoming episodes. You'll also be able to connect with all the guests. All of that and more over on the Spill It website. So go and check it out. When you come into here as well, make sure you drop a comment. Get those comments and questions in live whilst you are watching this. And that means that we get to interact with them live on air as well. If you've got questions for me, make sure you drop them into the comments box. If you've got questions for Simon, my special guest for this evening, then drop a comment as well. If you're listening to this on the podcast or you're watching this on playback, then all you ever have to do, if you wanted to leave a comment or ask a question and you want that question answered, just drop me an inbox. Drop me an email over on marcus@spillit.uk, or you can drop me an inbox over on my social media as well, which you will find over on the Spill It website. When you are here as well, don't forget to share. Just press the share button. It means that people who are not necessarily knowing what Spill It's all about may, find this episode interesting, or any other episodes interesting. Excuse me. They might find any of the other episodes interesting as well, and they might want to jump on and become a little teacup themselves. So make sure that you have shared this too. Comment comes in from Linda. Morning, one of my favorite people. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for joining. It is such a pleasure to see you once again. Now, I am parched. I think it's time for a little bit of tea. That's right, it is tea time. So I've got some tea for you this week as well, and it goes by the name of Pigasso. So Picasso, that's it, Picasso. It's a pig, but it could also be Picasso. Who knows? It's a mixture of the two, actually. So I found a news article where a pig was basically given a paintbrush to paint on this canvas, and this canvas sold for £20,000. What? What is going on with people? Now, I saw this painting. It wasn't that. Basically, it looked like a child had basically just colored in like a little bit. It wasn't artistic or anything like that. It was basically a pig that was. Come on, you can use your imagination. You can use your imagination with this. A literal pig with zero talent for painting was given a paintbrush and told to walk up and down on this canvas. That, ladies and gentlemen, and thems and friends, is what was produced. Like, it was a bit of blue on a canvas, and it sold for £20,000. I don't understand. The artistic world. I genuinely have no idea about. I am completely lost. I don't understand how you can pay £20,000 for that. And it doesn't just stop there either. There's been so many pictures, or I mean, look around like an art gallery, for example. I remember when I was younger seeing a blank canvas and it had one like black circular dot on it. And that was in this art gallery, and it sold for like 50,000, 60,000 pound or whatever. And I just remember thinking, I genuinely don't understand. If there's any artistic people, or art lovers out there, please can you get in touch with me? It's Marcus at spillit.uk. And can you give me a reason why? Because I can't wrap my head around this. I am really, really struggling. Because I could literally paint that and it would not be worth £20,000. 100%. It would not be worth £20,000. Linda says themselves and friends. No, not themselves and friends, Linda. It's always thems and friends. There you go. You got it right. Thems and friends. It's ladies and gentlemen, thems and friends. Because, not everybody wants to be branded as a lady or a gentleman. There might be some people that want to fall in between or not identify. And so I wanted my greeting to honor that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, thems and friends, I think has a nice ring to it, if you will. It's unique. So, because the painting is unique of the pig painting it, that's worth £20,000. Would you pay £20,000, Linda? That's the big question. Would you pay £20,000 for this bit of artwork? I'm going to find the artwork and I'll post it out onto my socials later on after the episode. But let me know your thoughts, because honestly, I'm clueless. I'm literally baffled. I don't know. Maybe Simon has some insights. I don't know. We'll have to ask him when he comes out onto the show this evening. And my last bit of tea for you. We are coming to the end of season 2 before my much needed break away from Spillit. I say away from Spillit. There's so many projects that have come up, especially in the last couple of days, surrounding Spillit, that my break isn't going to actually be a break. It's going to basically be me working on everything ready for season 3. So yeah, it's not going to be a break whatsoever. But yeah, the end of season 2 is fast approaching. We are on the penultimate episode of season 2 this evening. We have got the final episode of season 2 next week, next Wednesday. And then that is it. I'm going to have a couple of months away. Now, I've been doing this for a year and 6-7 months. And I've only ever given myself like 4 weeks off. So this is going to be a nice little break to come back to it with some really, really, really cool things. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds in 2022, as I'm sure that you guys are too. And that, ladies and gentlemen, thems and friends, was my tea. Okay, he's been waiting very, very patiently to come out and say hello to the world of Spillit and all the teacups that reside in it. Here he is. It is my special guest for this evening. It is Mr. Simon Knagg. Hello.
Good evening, Marcus. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. How are you?
Bit full of a cold, but I'm okay. I'm drugged up. I've got my whiskey in case my voice goes. I've also got a lozenge in to stop me from coughing. I have tested, so it's not the dreaded lurgy. Mm-hmm. It's actual common cold, I think. You know, that old school thing that we used to get.
Yeah, God, I can't remember. It seems so long ago. What are your thoughts on this £20,000 sold pig painting thing?
Do you know what? If someone out there likes paintings by pigs or paintings of pigs, and they've got the money, so be it. It must be worth that amount, to be fair.
I just can't.
I mean, look at
Well, I mean, yeah, but
40 grand. There is another one. Let's see, look.
There you go. Yeah.
But no,
I mean, yeah, you're right. Each to their own, and who are we to judge? But I just can't. I mean, I'm gonna have to tag you in the photo, and you'll be able to see that it literally doesn't. It's not anything. It's not anything at all. Like a 2-year-old could probably do something that would be a little bit better, and £20,000. It just seems it is just baffled my head. That's all. Yeah.
I
But yeah.
I think that was £7.50 in sort of down south somewhere on a street corner.
Not £20,000 though. You needed to be drawn by a pig. It would have been worth so much more.
I don't know about the nose that he gave me. It looks more like a pig.
I love it. Okay. Before we get into everything that we're going to be talking about this evening, are you ready to play a bit of a game with me?
Absolutely. Bring it on.
Let's do it. It is this or that. That's right. This is the game. This or that. It is a nice simple game. All I'm going to ask you is, would you prefer this or would you prefer that? And it is as simple as that. Now, everybody
sounds like an Aldi advert.
I know.
I like this, but I
like that. I don't like this, but I like this. But yeah, guys at home, feel free to play along as well. If you're watching this live, then drop a comment into the comments box with what you would prefer this or that. And also, if you're playing along on your podcast preferred method, if you're on your commute to work, or you're home from work, or if you're out having a jog, then feel free to play along as well. Here we go. This is this or that. Would you prefer to go fast or slow?
Fast.
Fast, definitely. Trees or flowers?
Trees, I think. Yeah.
Trainers or flip-flops?
Trainers, definitely. What is the point of flip-flops?
Yeah, I know. Bare feet or shoes?
Bare feet.
I prefer bare feet, you know. I really do. Like, as soon as I get home, like I went through this phase where I'd have one sock on and one sock off. Just to feel, like I like the different textures on my feet. And then like as soon as I get home, the trainers are off, the shoes are, the socks are off. And, yeah, I love it. Coat or jacket?
Jacket.
Play sports or watch sports?
Watch sports.
Art festivals or music festivals?
I'm not into drawings of pigs, so it'll have to be music festivals.
Air conditioning or a ceiling fan?
Air conditioning.
Pet or no pet?
Oh, that's a tricky one today. Pet.
Happiness or wealth?
Happiness by far.
Yeah, definitely. And your last one, funny or romantic?
Well, I'm a bit of a joker on the sly, so I'd have to be funny, I think.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. That, ladies and gentlemen, was this or that. Plenty of comments coming through. We've got Deborah joining us from Arizona. Hi, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining. We have Linda that prefers being fast. We have Linda also prefers trees. Deborah prefers trees. Linda is all about the trainers as well as Deborah as well. Bare Feet was a popular one as well. We have got music festivals. We have got, everybody was agreeing with the pets thing, so you have to have a pet. And romantic and split decision, actually. There was 2 different ones. And Rachel Craig has joined saying, doing good, Knaggy.
She's just in
And
bed.
there you go. And Rachel says, romantic.
Oh dear, I got that one wrong.
Maybe she's the romantic, though. You're the funny.
She is, yeah. I mean, you can be a funny romantic.
You could, yeah. But it's what you prefer. So maybe you prefer being the funny, and she prefers being the romantic, and that's why it works. There you go. See, did you enjoy that?
Absolutely, I love games like that.
Yeah, it's just a nice little icebreaker, nice little fun game, just to kind of set the tone for the evening as we start talking about what we are ready to talk about, which is all about music, the work that you do, and music through the ages, inspirations, and more. But before we get into that, now obviously I know you on a personal level, but there will be people out there who are listening and watching who have no idea who you are. And for those people, who the heck are you?
Well, lucky them. Well, I know you, Marcus, through my, I call her my baby niece, Sarah. She does a lot of work with the Kids for Kids. No doubt you've spoken about that before. Me, I'm Simon. I am one of 4 siblings. I'm actually the youngest one by 16 and a half years. I'm 42. I live in a little village on the edge of Blackburn called Rishton. My current occupation is actually IT manager. I look after computers and switch on things and switch it off and back on again when it doesn't work. That's generally my phrase that I turn to. The company I work for make parts for racing cars, so that's quite exciting, I suppose, to some people. But like you say, at night time, something I've been involved with for quite a long time is mobile DJing. My voice is actually going, so you'll have to excuse me. I joined my brother Chris. Hello, Chris. He's probably watching tonight, or Daddy Knagg, as you call him. And he started a disco back in the late 70s with his friend Alistair, and put together this roadshow called the AC Roadshow, Alistair and Chris Roadshow. And they were very, very popular amongst the young farmer sort of community. I'll talk a bit about that in a bit, but by the mid-90s, I hit puberty. 13, and by 14, my mum was letting the reins go a little bit, and she let me go along to some of these discos with my brother, and it was just brilliant. Turning up to a venue with some cobbled together equipment to begin with, and playing music to a lot of drunk people, and then having to pack it all away and into the car, get a kebab on the way home, and job's done. Wait for the next one, and that happened well into the 2000s. I think it was around about 2006. My brother packed it in. You get to an age where lugging all that equipment around, and it takes a lot of time and your health.
Yeah, of course.
So I also had a couple of years out. I had young children at the time, and I wanted to spend time with them and be a dad. But as they got a bit older, I was getting a taste for it again. Unfortunately, a friend of mine, James Rickard, hello, big Jimmy. He actually carried on doing the discos under his own belt and steam, and he kept asking me if I wanted to, go out again, and I was, well, go on then. So I wanted to, and then over time we got more popular, and then ended up rebranding as the Disco Jackers. I think that was around about 2015, 2016. We started getting a good name for ourselves in the young farmers again, and the word of mouth, got out there. We had some pretty decent equipment, and we put on a good show. And because of the experience that we had, the legacy continued. So I have about 25, 26 years under my belt now. There's plenty of mobile discos in there, weddings, birthdays, you name it. I've pretty much done it. I've managed to work alongside of some quite famous DJs as well. So it's not just, your small time discos, and, playing to up to 6,000 or 7,000 people. I mean, even earlier this year, we were DJing to the Tractor Pull Association over at Great Eccleston, and there was at least 10,000 people there. And,
wow.
Being put in that sort of position, it's quite buzzing, really. And to say it's just a hobby, I get a lot from it. I get a lot of, a good feeling. It keeps me ticking. I even call it, my release, a bit of therapy, play loud music, let people enjoy themselves. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of great things, and that all stems really from my brother, my eldest brother, Chris. Absolute, superstar he is.
Where did the name Scorejackers come from?
It was completely plucked out the air by James. Now James, he's a writer. He's actually an ex-young farmer himself, and he writes articles used to write articles for the Farmers Guardian, which is like a rag for the farming community, and he basically writes about tractors, and he's very good with his words. And he came up with this disco jackers, and it was like, that's actually quite cool. It sounds really good. And I came up with a logo. I've got a bit of a flair to designing things, and I put a website together and give it a bit of a corporate look. We got banners made up and logos, and made it look like we knew what we were doing. And so yeah, disco jackers. You can type disco jackers into Google now, and we're right at the top because it's quite a unique name. So on a business side of things, it's quite unique.
Yeah, definitely. When because obviously you said that you've worked with people who quite big names, if you will. Can you name drop anybody?
Scott Mills.
Oh wow, okay.
Chris Moyles, he was before that. We could even go further back. I was a little bit younger, more sort of my late teens, working with a very famous DJ back then called Simon Bates, Bruno Brooks, Gary Davis. So they're like the late 90s jocks. Then there was Emma B. She was pretty good. She soon fizzled out because, as DJs do. With bands and artists, the famous ones from back then, Gloria Gaynor. There's a bit of a joke actually with Gloria Gaynor. I mean, how many Gloria Gaynor tracks do you know?
Well, one.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine Gloria Gaynor coming out onto the stage and singing "I Will Survive," followed by what's that? she did actually get booed off stage.
Really?
Yeah. So our ongoing joke is that Gloria Gaynor did not survive.
Yeah, well, she didn't.
So and yes, I'm working with local artists as well. So like big wedding bands. There's a band from Wigan that I absolutely adore. Three lads called Booming. And they do a 2-hour set, just constant, solid 2 hours playing. They even swap from drum kit to guitar drum, and play the keys, and they just swap round all night, constantly playing and playing and playing, and they're just a fantastic. If you know, if anyone ever gets a chance to see Booming, brilliant.
Deborah has asked a question. What is the most popular song requested?
That's a very good question. I mean, I could look on my software and click a button that says most popular track, but because we do a lot of work in the Young Farmers community, which, you know, is a massive organisation. They've got over 19,000 members in the UK. And I mean, there's a good sort of 15, 16 clubs based in the Northwest. And this is one of the things I want to talk about, you know, shortly with you about music, is that because we do a certain group of people, they have their favourite songs. Now, if I was a club DJ and I was in, you know, the local nightclub doing the resident, same music, same crowd, same sound system, same everything, then I probably would have, you know, a handful of tracks that, you know, get asked for. But I'd have to say, there's an artist called Marty Morn. He's an Irish singer, and he sings a song called Slip the Diff, and he sings about driving tractors.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I must get, on an evening, at least 10, 15, maybe 20 people ask for that song. And until I play that song, they hassle me and hassle me and hassle me. But when we do play it, the place goes absolutely mental. I could have 400 or 500 young farmers in front of me singing it word for word, louder than my sound system. So it's called Slip the Diff by a gentleman called Marty Morn.
Okay, well, I'll try and find a link and I will post it after the show so people can have a listen themselves.
I've actually got a video on my Facebook page, actually, of a lot of young farmers singing it. 400 young farmers in front of me singing the chorus to it. So, you know, later on, I'll give you the link to that. But
yeah, please do.
But yeah, it's probably not what you expected to hear. You probably expected something like DJ Casper and Cha Cha Slide or something like that. So yeah.
When you are DJ, or when you was like starting to DJ, or like when you realized that this was something that you wanted to kind of pursue in your extracurricular activities, did you find yourself being inspired by other DJs out there? And if so, by who?
My brother. Simple as. Even from a young age, he was my idol. You know, I spent a lot of time with him. I sat at the end of his workshop bench watching him, and you know, he taught me how to use a drill and screwdriver and everything. You know, I appreciate that big time. And over the years, you know, stood next to him, I always used to maybe do the warm-up set, play the rubbish music to the people that aren't dancing, and you know, fill a gap. And then I'd stand to one side and I'd watch him. You know, he had such a really good, powerful DJ voice as well, and I just couldn't. I was actually microphone shy. I wouldn't even go near a microphone. I clammed up. He used to stand me in front of the microphone, and I'd be like, "Get off me!" So, but I was when he retired and me and James got Disco Jackers up and running. I don't know. I just came out my shell. I became more confident on the microphone, and then all the experience that I had with my brother combined together, and the formula that we have, it works very well. So, you know, I have Chris to blame for a lot of things, really. So, a lot of things.
Now, during lockdown, you moved your DJ sets online, didn't you? And I want you to spend a few moments, if that's okay with you, talking about what that was like, creating online party sessions during the lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, when the first lockdown was announced, we all thought, you know what, this is going to go on for a while, and we had all our events pulled, and we even got to a point where we took our van off the road and cancelled insurances and things like that, and we're thinking this is going to be for a while. And I had all this fancy electric equipment in the garage and thinking it's just not going to get used, so I pulled my decks out and had a bit of a play, and then I noticed a couple of other DJs going and doing online sets, and I thought that'd be worth doing just to keep my hand in and kill a couple of evenings now and again. And yeah, the first lockdown live, as we called it, I think everyone sort of adapted that name to a point. The first one we put online on Facebook. We were obviously having a few of these, which I don't normally do when I'm DJing. I'm usually the driver, so I don't normally drink. So it just flowed from there, really. We had the big TV up on the wall so we could see people's comments coming on Facebook. We had the cameras, we had all the lighting. We even set a smoke machine up. All the electric meter must have been going, woo! So, the first one, it was just a bit of a laugh, and all of a sudden we had 400 people watching us, and it was like, holy. Unfortunately, after 2 or 3 times, the Facebook police kicked in, and because they've got these horrible algorithms that scan the music, even if it's just on in the background, we were being taken offline within seconds. Whereas the first time we did it, it was about an hour we got, but we were obviously off the radar. So we had to find another platform to do this on. As much as we buy all our music legally and it's all above board, we found Twitch, and there was a few people using Twitch. Now, we didn't get as many people watching us, but to be fair, I wasn't doing it to entertain people. I was doing it to keep us sane. And because people were joining in, it just helps. And, before you knew it, it was like 2:00 in the morning, and it was like, it just feels like you've just done a gig, and it had a few sherbets, and we were absolutely legless. So, and then the really nice thing is that there were some people that were watching it that were actually impressed, and we got the Royal Online Agricultural Society contact us and asked us to do a DJ set in their virtual beer tent.
Oh, wow.
And it was all a sponsored event, and we did it all for free. We didn't, charge or anything, but they were raising money for charity. And even from that, we got more requests to do gigs in virtual beer tents. I even did an online food and drink festival. It was just, I don't know. At the time, it was us having a laugh, and because we were broadcasting it, we just wanted people to join in, mainly friends and people that we knew quite closely through the Young Farmers, but they were sharing it and they were sharing it. And I mean, we had a couple down, I forgot where it is now, it's down south anyway. They just built themselves a beer shed, a pub shed. And they actually wrote to their local newspaper and said that they'd found this couple doing a DJ set, and they got us written into the local newspaper and showed us up on the screen. I mean, this is people that have just discovered us by typing in DJ set, and we came along. So, but I mean, I know it's had a big impact, because now that we're back on the road, so to speak, people have been coming up to us saying, "Oh, those online gigs, they were brilliant. They really kept us going," and that gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling, that you've done something, good.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I moved my dance exercise classes online as well. Mine were called Lockdown Live, surprisingly, as well.
Yeah.
And, the amount of people that it reached, I mean, you're right with the whole Facebook thing. So, I pay for my music license. I buy all my tracks and all that lot. And Facebook's algorithms. It basically works like the app Shazam, if you've heard of that. So,
It is.
the algorithm basically just senses like a few seconds worth of music and how quick it can identify it. It'll pull it down straight away or mute it or whatnot. And we struggled like really, really badly. But for the time that we were dedicating to the online session, it was helping so many people, like even just mentally, just feeling like that they weren't on their own. It was creating that little bit of community out there as well. And that's what you guys were doing as well. It wasn't just a case of, we're playing a DJ set and that's it. Like you were creating this community, this safe space where people felt like where they couldn't go out and they couldn't necessarily mingle with people that would normally would do. They would invite them to these live events where you would be DJing and they would be able to hang there with their friends, if you will, their friends and family, and just have a good chat and request songs to yourself. And that in itself is so commendable. It's really, really good that
We did it
you managed to
for the
dedicate.
kids.
Yeah.
For the kids after your online shows, we did a after show party.
Yeah.
And we kept it family orientated. We took requests, and made at the end of a wonderful evening. Not charged. It was all purely to keep yourself sane through these horrible times.
Exactly that. It was just to keep that safe space in your head where you had some form of, even though it was ridiculously not normal, but to have some form of normality in your head, something that you were familiar with, rather than just being cooped up all day. It was just nice to feel, even that feeling that you were out, if you will, and having a bit of a party. It was good.
It was just that one night that we had where our smoke machine went a little bit iffy and set on fire, and completely filled the house with smoke.
Actual smoke.
Actual smoke, not fake smoke. And you saw me running across the house with a smoke machine with flames coming out the side of it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bit silly, but all in the name of fun, eh?
Well, I suppose, yeah, you gotta see the funny side of things there. Yeah. Looking at, because obviously you'll be very well within your music, and you'll have a plethora of knowledge, let's say.
I love that word, plethora.
I love that. It's my word of the week. I've said it so many times this week.
Rachel told me that one.
I love it. Every week I have like a new word that I think I'm going to use this word this week, and plethora is this week's word of the week. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, and dames and friends, plethora. I love it. But yeah, so you'll have like a plethora of knowledge when it comes to music styles and how music has been throughout the ages. And I'm just wondering if you'd be able to give your take on how music has evolved throughout the ages.
Well, I'll start off with saying I'm not overly impressed with half of the things that are in the charts at the minute. Let's putting aside the Christmas music that is getting there because of the streaming now, but the chart music in particular, and I know there's people that like it because it's pop music, grime and drill. Those particular styles of music don't really float my boat at all. I mean, I was dragged up in the 90s. I was heavily into my dance music. I like to go to raves myself, and when I wasn't DJing, I used to go out and see some big artists and enjoyed it. So if I was to say a favorite style would be, house music from the late 90s, early noughties. But I'll go back to the DJing side of things. When people are coming up and asking me for particular songs, and I'm thinking, that's a remix of an old song. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's the first time. That's an original. I went, no, it's not. I've, I've written down some notes here because I'm rubbish at remembering. For example, Bastille. Yeah. There's a track that they did called "Of the Night."
Right.
That samples Snap's "Rhythm Is a Dancer" from.
Oh right, yeah. I know that one. Yeah.
Just an example. I thought I'd give you a popular one. I mean, let me say, Destiny's Child, Bootylicious.
Yeah.
Go on.
Is it a Michael Jackson one?
It's not. No, right at the beginning, there's a guitar riff by Stevie Nicks.
Ah, okay.
Edge of 17. So the beginning of it has got that. I can't sing, so I'm not even going to attempt trying. But
Kelly, can you handle this? Michelle, can you handle this? Beyonce, you can handle this. I don't think they can handle this. Woo! Da 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 da.
Marcus, it's me. You're getting your fan out next one. Eminem Stan.
Dido,
yeah. Just anyway, there's that side of things where people are a bit, maybe naive to the music that's coming out now and not appreciating what actually is behind that song.
Yeah, where it came from.
So the 70s and 80s tracks, they're absolutely awesome. They've just been mishmashed and, in my opinion, sometimes spoiled.
Yeah.
On the flip side, there's some artists that are doing some fantastic jobs. And it does make DJing pleasurable because they're bringing these tracks with some good heavy bass lines and beats. And when you're listening to it on a big sound system and creating that atmosphere and keeping the dance floor full, it's good fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of different songs that are coming out recently where they are clearly obviously my generation and older that recognizes the lyrics, and it might even just be like 2 lines of a lyric.
Yeah.
But it's sampled from something from the 80s or from something from the 90s. Now, the Kids to Kids show that we're currently doing is one that I'm producing. It's called Rewind. And the reason that I've done that one is because there are the 80s songs, the 80s lyrics, the 80s feel are making their way into today's music, where artists are sampling a lot of the 80s stuff. And I thought, well, I want to do a show that's purely 80s, so people can so all of the kids, they get to realize how good music was back then and how much it's inspired people's thought processes and music genres today.
But the lyrics alone, strip out all the decent, the musicians, take all that out, and the lyrics alone are usable nowadays. If going back to the music that I mentioned, the tracks that are coming out now, to play them on the radio, they're having to bleep out or remix it.
Yeah.
So it missed out the lyrics, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not usable. I mean, even, my children alone who are ages, 10 and 12, and then they're playing a song on the radio that misses out a swear word, they know exactly what word goes in there.
Yeah.
It's wrong. But if you go back to the 80s pop music, early 90s pop music, even further back than that, possibly, the lyrics are all right, might be a bit depressing in it's a lot about love and etc., but it's melodic, it's nice to listen to, and you can relate to it. Nowadays it's guns and I'll rephrase. Sorry, I won't say any naughty words, but I hope you know what I mean. It's
I definitely get what you mean straight away. I mean, the lyrics that are said in today's songs, and not all of them, some songs that are released today are really, really good. And so specifically, like some of Ed Sheeran's work, some of Adele's work, like the music that these artists are bringing out, the songs that these artists are bringing out more recently, some of them can be held in high regard and think, you know what, that's actually quite nice. It's quite it's got a nice melody. It's got a nice tune to it. It's got really good lyrics. These lyrics stand out. These lyrics mean something to me. But a vast majority of the music that is released nowadays, you wouldn't listen to it in 10 years from now and think, oh, these lyrics actually, they stand against time, if you will. Yeah. They're here and they don't mean anything. It's just kind of mishmashed words to kind of put together to make a song. And it comes from this whole culture of anybody can now release a song. Anybody can do it. Anybody can release a bit of music. Yeah, like it's just it does blow my mind. Obviously, there was a lot of things when I was younger. There was the whole Rebecca Black scenario where she released her own music video called Friday, and everybody took the mick out of it because she couldn't sing. It was auto-tuned to hell. And she released that music video. And that was the start of all of these other people who just release music. And it doesn't need to mean anything. They just do it. And it is such a shame. And yes, Rachel's put in the comments there as well. It's very sexualized, the music, unfortunately. And it is because people realize that sex sells, and it shouldn't be like that. But people realize in the noughties, in the early noughties and beyond, that sex does sell. And now what happens is that it's not just a case of talking about sex sells. We've kind of gone into this weird timeline, if you will. So if we've gone from like everything being like, no, we don't really talk about this, we don't really talk about sex or whatever, and then suddenly sex sells in the 90s and the noughties, and then it turns into in the 10s and the 20s where it's I want to show off my sexuality and my sexual needs and all that lot because it's empowering. And it's not necessarily empowering. You're basically just it's still the same. Sex sells. It's just that you're trying to paint it with a different message, and I don't really agree to that.
And double up with the videos that they release with them as well.
Yeah.
You know, I know Little Mix, who are predominantly pop band focusing on the young ones. You know, I'm not complaining about some of the outfits that they wear, but I mean, come on, it's the age range that they're aiming at. It's not right, really. And I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but it isn't.
No, but you're right. And, you know, the thing is that they'll always say as well that you've got to remember that their audience will obviously grow alongside them as well. However, there are a lot of younger people that do like their music because they sing it in a way that these younger audiences, like tens and unders or early teens or whatever, it resonates with them. It's what it's like they're poppy. Oh, I want to sing along to this, and then they don't necessarily hear the lyrics. There's a lot. I remember doing a school project when I was teaching in schools. I was trying to teach a dance unit in schools, and I was trying to find music that I could use that did not have anything that was sexualized. And it was actually so hard to find a bit of music at the time that wasn't sexualized. Like everything was. And at the time it was when it was like Katy Perry was like huge, and every single one of her songs was something to do with sex. And obviously it was all masked around this whole pop feel where these young kids are singing lyrics and not really knowing what they were singing about. And it's such a shame that we have to be like that. And yeah, I could get into this all day, really.
Yeah, when it comes to but just very quickly, going back to the Young Farmers events that I do, you know, these kids turn up in jeans, boots, and, you know, a tweed jacket. You know, your stereotypical farmer, what they're wearing. They don't really take themselves seriously in that respect. They don't really care what people think what they're wearing. They come along, they ask me for 80s and 90s, maybe even earlier than that, ABBA, and they're singing the roof off. They've got the 16, 17, 18-year-olds that are absolutely raising the roof, singing along with tracks that are even older than me and you combined. Seriously, the love for proper music. If I started playing grime or drill to these at these events, I would literally get booed off stage. They'd be tearing me apart.
It's not great to listen to. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of music, as I said, like that I will listen to. I try to keep up with, obviously, what's being released nowadays because some things are quite good, and I do like to keep up to date with it all. Especially when it comes to like teaching kids, you've got to kind of get onto their level, if you will. But there is some stuff that's just unlistenable, and I don't know if that's just me being old, but I do think that there's just some music. I just think, what is this? I don't understand.
WTF?
Exactly, like WTF. Like I do not get it. I don't understand how this is even like the mumble stuff as well. Like the mumble, like so you'll have like this really heavy bass line like backing stuff that's just repetitive over and over again.
One guy on a key going in.
Yeah, like hammering this like just one bar on this bloody keyboard, and then you'll have another guy on the microphone, and it's literally.
But on the flip side, you've got Stormzy, and he did the headline act at Glastonbury a couple of years ago. That production was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing. End of. and he is a grime artist, a very popular person. He seems like a nice chap. I'd love to meet him, But that when he did the headline act at Glastonbury, pretty sure it was. I've lost a year somewhere. 2 or 3 years ago, someone will correct me. But the production itself was just amazing. Right down to him singing his melodic solos. I know he's a rap artist, but he's got a bit of tune to him as well, which is awesome. So there are good ones out there, like you said, Marcus, but I think predominantly it's rubbish.
I think, as I say, I think it's because the music industry is a lot more accessible not the music industry, but breaking into the music industry is a lot more accessible nowadays than it ever has been before. Like it used to be that you actually, not that these people don't have talent, I don't want to say that, but you actually had to be noticed, you had to be picked out by a talent agency.
Well, they have their own little niche markets, and they're popular in those areas. And fair play to them. I really do wish them all the best. But from my point of view as a mobile DJ, and I'm allowed my opinion on this. It's it's not a great listen.
No, as a choreographer, I'm allowed to have my input as well. I can't come up with a choreography to your rubbish music. Sort it out. That's what I've got to say on that matter. I have a voice and I will use it. I want to choreograph to all different types of music. If I can't choreograph to your music, then sort it out. Boom.
Microphone dropped.
Yes, exactly. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you would like the opportunity to discuss now?
Not really. I just wanted. I would personally like to shout out to all of the Kids for Kids guys, because over the lockdown I've become a lot closer to the committee in particular, because we did a lot of the quizzes and things, and on the back end of all the online stuff that I did with, I've made some wonderful friends virtually, but it's lovely when we get to meet up, in real life and give each other a legal cuddle and all that. So the Kids for Kids lot, I mean, my niece Sarah, she's an absolute diamond, as are the rest of my nieces as well, but particularly at the moment, Sarah and her husband Steve, and again, my legend of a brother, Chris. Martin as well, he's another brother, but he's, ginger. So, and my wonderful fiance, Rachel, who you met a couple of times, and her kids and my kids, and I'd like to raise a little toast to my little poochies, who unfortunately I had to put down this morning.
Yes.
14-year-old and 15-year-old staffies who have gone to doggy heaven this morning. And I'm so glad I had this opportunity to come on with you, Marcus, because it's taken my mind off it and give me something to focus on. So anyway, anyone who's tuned in tonight, thanks. Disco Jackers, we're here for the laugh. End of.
Love it. And you're more than welcome. Like it's a nice little escape when you get to just talk about whatever you want to talk about anyway. So
Yeah.
Lottie and Lincoln.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Lottie and Lincoln. Thank you. They're were your fair babies. So yeah. Bless. Now, before I let you go, there will be people out there that might be thinking, well, actually, I want to know where I can get more information about this, or how I can book them, or maybe booking you for a virtual session. Who knows? Anything and everything, throw around some ideas and come up with an amazing event for you, like with you. Yeah. Where can people find you if they wanted some more information?
Well, I'd say the easiest place to find us, and probably anyone, to be fair, is on Facebook. Disco Jackers, you've seen it on the bottom. It's Disco Jackers, all one word. We have a website, discojackers.co.uk. But like I said, if you get us on Facebook, click the chat button. I'm on the end of it. I'll have a chat with you. Even if you just want to offload and speak to me, or you want some advice on an event that you might want to hold. If you are a DJ yourself and you want some tips, or you want to come along and see how it's done, just get in touch. We're here for the crack, aren't we?
We are, don't we?
I won't put her on camera because she's not suitably dressed for the camera. So yeah. Oh,
sorry.
On telly.
Now, at the end of every Now, at the end of every show, my guests leave an inspirational quote to help inspire other people out there. And I'm just wondering if you've got a quote for me, my viewers, and my listeners today, and what that quote means to you.
I do. And, it means something to me, because over the last 4 or 5 years, I've had my ups and downs, as everyone does. It's called life. And my inspirational quote, and please do take a page out of my book, is don't worry about the things that you've got no control of. Focus your positive energy on the things that you can control. Don't worry about anybody else. Just have time for yourself and make sure that all that negative, all the horrible people that you just look back on, don't look up to, don't look at, just you and the good network and the good people around you. And, and everything will be fine in the end. People have said that to me. I could drivel on why, but let's just say we have problems to overcome, and with positive energy you can achieve. And you're a good example of that, Marcus. You really are.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, you're completely right. Like, there's no point in worrying about the things that are out of your control. We waste so much energy in mourning or shouting or complaining or feeling negative and putting negative thoughts and negative energy out there when it comes to certain things that are completely beyond our control. The things that we do have control over, that's what the things that we forget about. And we need to focus our efforts, our energies onto those things that we can control to create a positive outlet for these negative things that might be happening. Yes, the world might be in a very dark place at the moment, but what are you doing about it to ensure that you don't get enveloped in that darkness? Just that little thought of what can I control in this moment right now is how you can do it.
Turn your living room into a nightclub. That's how we did it.
There you go. Turn your living room into a nightclub.
Club it tonight.
that's what I did. I moved my dance classes online. I created Spill It. Do you know what I mean? It was a lot of different stuff that nobody knew what was going on in the world, and I wanted to create my own little positive space, and that's how Spill It was born. It was about positive people and inspirational people sharing inspirational stories. And look what's come of that. And it's the same with you. You wanted to create your own little disco room in your house and share that with the world. And that what came from that was so much more. And you've got to channel that energy, those thoughts, those energies that you're putting out into the world into something that you can feel passionate about, that will give you positivity. And forget about the stuff that you can't control, focus on the things that you can. So yeah, you're 100% right. I absolutely love that quote. Thank you so much. And Deborah Cade has said, love your positive energy as well. And she loves positive energy. So yeah, there you go. It's as simple as Deborah. That. So thank you, Deborah, for sharing. So yeah, that then takes us to the end of our show. Have you had fun?
Marcus, I always have fun with you, my friend. Always.
It's a trick question. You can never say no.
and it's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you taking the time to have a chat with me.
Oh no, all you more than welcome here anytime. It's a nice safe space to chat about whatever you want to chat about. That's what it's here for. So thank you so much, and you are now free to say your goodbyes.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a good one, and maybe see you online sometime.
Hi, Merry Christmas to you too. Have a great New Year as well, and see you soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye. And there you go. And that was that episode. What a great episode it was this week as well with Simon from Disco Jackers. As I say, if you wanted some more information on the Disco Jackers and the work that Simon does, make sure you go and check the Facebook page. The links are everywhere. I've been posting them all over. But if you're wanting direct contact, then just head over to the Spill It website, www.spillit.uk, and you'll be able to click onto the upcoming episodes tab. Go on to this episode tonight's episode, and there'll be a connect with guest button. Click that connect with guest button, and it'll take you directly to the Disco Jackers Facebook page. So you'll be able to have a little bit of a chat with them and more. Do whatever you want, really. Book them. Do whatever you want. It's up to you. Go and say hi. Just go and like the page. We talk about support all the time. The best support that you can give is just by liking a page. Even if you'll never book them in a million years, just go and like a page and leave a review. I always say that. Like and leave a review. Those little things do mean so much to creators. So if you get a spare 5 minutes, head over to their page, like it, and just leave a review and just say, what a great guy. What a great guy. You can leave an honest review, as well, because he's come on to the Spill It show. So now you know all about Disco Jackers because he came on to Spill It. So therefore, you can go and leave an honest review and be like, he went on to the Spill It podcast show, and this is what I thought. 5 stars. There you go. Because nobody likes less than 5 stars. Ladies and gentlemen and members and friends, do it. Nobody likes less than 5 stars. And that was the end of the episode. We have got 1 episode left of the series. Season 2 of the series? No, the season. Season 2 comes to an end next week. We have got just next week's episode before I bid you all farewell for the time being until the 2022 starts and we get new plans in place. There is so much happening. Honestly, I'm really, really excited. I've got such a buzz waiting for what's going to happen in 2022. I've also finished my book as well. Congratulations, me. I finished my book this week. So I finished writing the first draft of my book. That has now been sent off to the editor. The editor is going to have a look at it, do some fact checking, do some checking to see all my spelling and grammar is correct, and see if I have repeated words or if there's anything that could just be chopped out or added in or needed me to expand on something. But yeah, so the editor is in the hands of the editor. The editor is going to look at it all over, and by the end of January, I will have an idea of when the book will be released. We are aiming for a release of April 2022. For those who don't know what the book is called A Little Bit of Happiness, written by me, all about me. It's my memoir. It's a memoir of my life, but written in a self-help way. So it's a case of we look at different aspects of life, so relationships. We take a deep dive into my relationship background, but then also how I've managed to learn these little things along the way of all of these relationships to create a better version of me, and how I've learned from all of those experiences as well, because you've got to find that happiness in every single dark moment as well. And then it goes into how are you going to find your happiness when you look back on your life and look at these different aspects as well. It's such a good read. Honestly, I read it. I read it like when I finished time today, I read it from start to finish, and I was like, what a good book. I'm so proud of myself. But yeah, and I'm really hoping that it goes onto obviously the time-wise, and it gets released in April 2022, so that you guys can have a read of it and tell me what you think as well. There's going to be reviews out there for it. Oh, it's going to be absolutely mental. I'm just hoping that Waterstones comes over and be like, let's get your book on my shelf. And I'm like, yeah, let's put my book on your shelf. If you're wanting to get involved with Spill It in season 3, or you've got some ideas, or you just want to give some feedback on tonight's episode or any other episode, you can get in touch with me via email, marcus@spillit.uk, or you can get in touch with me over on my social medias. Anywhere that you can find a social media, you'll find my profile. So Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Where else is there? There's others out there. All the social medias, just search for @Spillit_Marcus. You'll find me over on everything, even on PlayStation Network, because I'm an avid gamer. So you can find me on PlayStation Network, @Spillit_Marcus. Everywhere where you can search for someone, just search for Spillit_Marcus, and you'll find me. It's as simple as that, really. But for links and more to all the social medias, for everything upcoming on Spill It and more, just make sure that you go and check out the Spill It website. Last time for you, it is www.spillit.uk. And that is the end of the episode. Once again, thank you so much for everybody who tunes in every single week and watches this live or listens to the podcast, listens to the episodes. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for 77 episodes later, and we're still going, and we're still going strong. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. And until we spill it again, it's bye for now. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Spill It. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do so. Spill It goes live every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And a special thank you to these amazing teacups.